Hey folks, Doc Holliday here, and I have a story to tell you about a fishing hole that I fell into here in western Wyoming, and I don't want to get out of it. I'm traveling the Continental Divide. I began my journey at the southern terminus at the Mexico-New Mexico border, and I will conclude my journey at the Montana-Canadian border. My passion is fly fishing, and there will be many side trips along the way in that pursuit. If you want to follow me, subscribe. Now a message to my friend Rue. This video should answer your question, pal. And now back to my story. This Green River is an unbelievable fishery. I have extensively fly fished the Pacific Northwest from California to Alaska over many years for steelhead and salmon. I spent the last 2 COVID summers in Montana trout fishing. I speak from years of experience when I say this fishery is special. It's an arid country, as you can see here. A lot of pronghorn. I managed to get within 75 yards of one. I do some photography hunting. I don't shoot anymore. That's my camp right on the side of the river. And I have a trailer there which has a pontoon boat in it. I didn't use it on this river because I didn't need to. It's easy to walk into. There's a pronghorn that I shot. Nice big buck. I am a streamer fisherman primarily, except when fish are rising to a hatch, I'm fishing dry flies when that opportunity exists. I step down in between casts, and whenever I can, I try and get out in the middle of the river so I can cast both directions, out and into the bank. This river was full of these sow bugs. They're on your boots when you get out of the river, and when you're wading in the river, you're kicking them up, and the trout actually come in to your downriver slipstream and feed on the bugs. Look at these shadows in the upper end of the screen. These are fish. These are nice big trout coming right in to feed off of your feet. It's kind of a symbiotic relationship. I'm feeding them. They won't go to anything you put in front of them in the way of a fly. Maybe if you dropped a nymph in there, a sowbug nymph, they'd take it, but that's not my thing. Look closely. They'll come in and out of view here. It's also worth noting that you look at this river from above and you think it's crystal clear, but they don't call it the Green River for nothing, I guess. Just take a second here, look at those trout moving in and out of the view. Okay, so I'm typically in first light and last light gray light fisherman. Here I am first thing in the morning moving towards the river. I'm going to cross the river here in a tail out and walk back up the other side. The myth that trout don't bite until 10 o'clock in the morning is something that I think guides have started. You know, the guides aren't lazy. It's just there's a lot of getting ready to do for their clients before morning, and if they're going to be on the river at first light, they're going to have to be up 3 or 4 hours before first light. So to John Dutton of Yellowstone fame, hey, you got it wrong, buddy. Trout do bite first thing in the morning. Okay, moved up the other side of the river. Finn, you're going to want to look real close here. Pay attention. This cut bank, back channel, river left, is full of fish. I was bouncing my fly off of that bank on the other side. Trout are used to eating crickets, mice, grasshoppers, ants, anything that, worms, anything that falls into the river on a cut bank. And this is no exception. I'm taking little 2-inch strips, moving my bug across from the bank here. On this next cast, pay attention because we're going to have a take. Water loading the line, and here we go. So if you can see the line, you can see that I'm taking little 2-3-inch strips, 2 at a time, 3 at a time. Get ready. Here we go. Anticipation. Got him. This is a nice fish. I fish click pawl reels. That Medalist reel was probably manufactured in 1960. I was 8 years old. Taking line. This was a very nice fish. Ben, your dad needs to get you in here. Oh, 2 others here. My friend Rue and his son Finn are fishing buddies. And Finn is, I think, 13 years old now. He's going teenager. But he's a fisherman. Loves to fish, so does his dad. Hope to see you on this river one day. The rainbows, German browns, and a new one on me called a cut bow in this river. Some of them rival the size of average Northern California and Oregon steelhead. Some amazing fish in this river. I wouldn't classify this river as a numbers river. Some other rivers you catch a lot of fish, typically always smaller, but the fish that you catch here are quality. It's late May and very early June right now, and these fish are feeding primarily on sow bugs, as I indicated earlier. But this river has a lot of crayfish as well, and the pattern I'm fishing here would imitate a crayfish. I'm capturing this video with a DJI Action 2 camera. It's easy to click the camera on once you have hooked a fish, but it's very difficult to get the take, the actual initial grab of the fish, as I did with this particular one. That's about all I have for you in the way of additional audio, but there's a whole lot of video here forward, and that video is all catching, as they say. Not fishing, but catching. Grab a soda and grab your son or daughter or entire family, and I hope you enjoy watching this. I enjoyed making it, and pleasant journeys to you in the future and your fishing trips. I'll be quiet, crank up the music, and hope you enjoy. You know, folks, it is incumbent upon us anglers to make sure that we handle these fish, this resource, with respect. Make sure that we revive them, make sure that their motor starts before they're released, and that they go on to spawn and thrive. Make sure that we don't walk in their reds Again, we need to treat them with respect. I occasionally keep a fish, and to your naysayers that say that I shouldn't do that, well, my retort is, you naysayers are typically keeping wild salmon because you're programmed to do that. Well, when I eat a fish on the bank of the river, 95% of that fish's protein goes back into the system. The entomology benefits, the fries benefit and feed on it, the scavengers feed on it, and then their nitrogen goes into the riverbank. When you eat a fish, a wild fish that you buy in the grocery store, 100% of that fish goes in a dumpster and or a landfill, and the balance of it goes into a sewage treatment plant. That fish was supposed to be upstream, upland, and bears and otters and a whole host of mammals and entomology would have benefited from it. But by taking that wild fish out of the system, you've deprived the ecosystem of its benefit. A couple of things. You know, this the size of the fish in this river, you really, in my opinion, it ought to be illegal to use 5 or 6X tippet. You know, you hang flies on fish, and what tippet's left on there gets down their gills and injures them. Anyway, that's just my opinion. Secondly, I was remiss. I should have had a larger net. You can't use a typical trout net in this river. The fish are just so big that this particular fish came unbuttoned in the net and got rehooked from the outside in its gill plates, and it damaged the fish. So I had it for dinner. It's my birthday dinner, 69 years old. I don't keep very many fish. It's rare that I do, but once in a while I do. Usually if they're a hatchery fish, which this was not. But at any rate, the protein from this fish went back into the river, and all those sow bugs and entomology thrive off of that. And aside from all of that, I just wanted to say I really enjoyed making this video, and I hope you enjoyed listening to it. We'll look forward to seeing you all on the river. Peace. More to come, not done yet. But yeah, that's all, folks.